Rashaad Santiago is a special effects, makeup artist, costume designer, and director from New York. He was the winner for Sci-Fi's season 6 of Face Off. He has worked on several projects such as the Nightmare short film series featuring Batman, Star Raiders, The Adventures of Saber Rain, and directed the film Beast of the Water. So Amber, we got to introduce our special guest today, Rashaad. Woo!
Woo!
Thank you guys for having me.
Hell yeah. Welcome. And we are very excited to have you here. Are you in your studio right now? Because I know you're pretty active on Instagram Live. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh.
Not today. Today. I had some things to take care of earlier today. So I thought about going in a little later, but today I am home. Today's a home video.
Okay. Well, we're happy to have you. And Amber, how about you take it away?
Yeah, I'm so hyped. I effing love Face Off. And honestly, I think your season, it's not just because you're on. I think your season was the best season or one of the best seasons. So take us how you got on the show, how you found out about the show, and then the process it took to get on to Face Off.
Prior to trying to audition for Face Off, like everybody else, I was a fan of the show. And we just had finished watching, I believe it was season 4. And during watching season 4, I would sit down and pretend like I was going through the challenges the same way they were. So I would do my little sketch of my character. I would go to the clay, sculpt something up really quickly. And then I saw that they were auditioning for season 5. So I was like, hey, maybe I think I'm ready to do this. So I recorded a little video of myself talking about how much I loved monsters and how much I loved makeup and how much I wanted to become and own my own studio and one day, work on movies and different projects. And they watched the video, they liked it, but they said that they already had everybody cast for season 5, and they'll keep me in mind for season 6, which they would be casting a couple of months later. So then I went back to my regular scheduled programming of working, and then they gave me the call and told me that they liked my video for season 6 and that they wanted me to come out to LA to audition in front of the judges, or audition in front of the producers of the show. So they flew me out to LA. They gave us a 2-hour makeup demo that we had to do on ourselves. They took us outside, took some pictures, and then we cleaned up, and then they sat us in front of the producers. And then we just basically had to do the same thing all over again. Why do you want to be on Face Off? And what are you going to do with the money if you win? And then from there, I went back home, and I think it was maybe a couple of months before I heard something back, and they said, congratulations, you're on season 6. And then I got on the show. So it was pretty awesome. It was a pretty awesome process.
That's awesome. I'm really glad you took us through that because again, we have a lot of fans. Chris is going to keep popping up comments. But as you know, and as we know, you were constantly in the top looks for your entire season, and you were only in the bottom one time. And all the judges would remark how you were able to execute so much in such a short time and be so consistent. How were you able to accomplish that?
I think in watching the show and prepping prior, I knew that as often as I could for every challenge, I wanted to bring across as much full of a character as I could. I didn't want to have any of my characters be lacking in any way. So I tried to do as much as I could, and I practiced speed sculpting prior to going on the show. So I would always have my sculptures done a lot faster, and then that gave me all the time to fabricate the rest of the character, basically.
And the skill and the artistry, you just demonstrate, every single episode was insane, and and I think with the theme for season 6, it was doing things bigger and bolder, doing things on the show they've never done before, like going to Japan or having a 2-part finale with the vampires and werewolves. Insane. It was awesome. So my question here, what's the biggest takeaway or moment of growth in your artistry that you felt Face Off provided, especially with those additional challenges they were throwing at you?
Face Off just, I think it brought out a lot of, because when we're on the show, we didn't have any access to television, any access to the internet. We didn't have our phones. So a lot of the inspiration and the art that we brought to the show came from our heads, from things that we've seen before, or animals, or things that we tried to incorporate. So I think being on Face Off, I mean, the entire filming process, for those of you who didn't know, is 3 months. I mean, some people go home sooner because they get eliminated, but when you're on the show and you make it to the end, you're there for, we were in the cast house and doing the show for 3 months. So for that entire time, you have to dig into your own head. So I think it taught me a lot about just creativity, and sometimes being sequestered is better than just constantly being able to pull from your own mind rather than always going to reference. Although reference material is awesome when you have it, like maybe the anatomy or some kind of texture, but digging into your mind and pulling from there was definitely what made Face Off what it is.
Awesome. That's great. All right, so I'm going to switch gears a little bit because Rashaad, you had by far on the show like some of the best builds ever. So we want to we want you to walk us through some of our favorites. So sure. I have some images set up. So the very first episode, Sexy Beast. So your first spotlight challenge in episode 1 was to create a creature based on the Beauty and the Beast, which is really fitting based on the type of comics we make. We take classic fairy tales and give it a brand new modern spin. Nice. And your team created the winning look for episode 1, and it was said to be one of the best first looks in the history of Face Off. So I'm going to show the image right here, and I'm going to switch sides. So
I'm on this side now.
Yeah. So right here you have your take on the Gill Man. So cool. What was your thought process, and what was the most challenging part, since this is your first challenge of the show?
I think the overall excitement of just being there, that was our first like spotlight challenge, I think, as it was called. And they had walked us through the lab prior to giving us the challenge, just to show us where everything is. And everything is so big, everything is so new, you know, you kind of have an idea where everything is. And I think working with Chloe on that challenge was fun, because I didn't know her prior to the show. And when you're working in a creative space like that, there's a lot of creative friction that might happen or different things. But I think we were pretty much both on the same page with this challenge, and knowing that Creature from the Black Lagoon was both of our inspirations growing up, and knowing like, we can't just put Creature from the Black Lagoon on the screen. We had to change it and make it into our own concept. But I knew early on, just from getting that our first underwater card, exactly what the creature had to look like. So it was a fun collaborative effort. I sculpted the cow and the body, and Chloe focused on the face, and together it came together beautifully.
Yeah, you absolutely crushed this one. One of my favorite looks that you did. I also am a huge Creature from the Black Lagoon fan. So it was very exciting to see. And like, it's so interesting when, Shape of Water came out too. And Guillermo del Toro is also a fan, and his look. And speaking of Shape of Water, Our next look is from Cryptid Creatures. Our fans are huge cryptid fans, and a lot of our stories are based on cryptic, obscure people. And so the Cryptid Creatures episode was awesome because you guys got to do cryptids, but also you got to work with one of the most influential people that rocks that, which is Doug Jones. And that's awesome. So take us through, Graham, and yours, creation here.
Beside the amount of laughing and joking around we did on this challenge, we were both surprised at how much work we got done, because I don't know why our personalities just melded so well. We just had so much fun on this challenge. But we knew a lot of what we had, which I think, did we have the bunyip? I think we had the bunyip. Yes, which is from Australia. And the description was very, some people said it looked like one thing. Some people said it looked like another thing. So we tried to incorporate as much of all of those things into one creature. That way, depending on which angle you saw it from, it would look like one of those creatures. Yeah. So, and anything with scales is like my favorite. So knowing that it had crocodile scales and wrinkles and all this texture, we really had a blast in teaming up on this one.
Great. So cool. And I when I was watching this episode, how did there's so many disparate elements, but you pull it off so effortlessly. That's true craft, and it's pure genius.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Rashaad, you'll set to comment 3. We at the company, we love monsters. I know you're a fan of monsters. So on the episode Bloodsuckers, there was a vampire challenge, and vampires factor heavily into our series, especially with Van Helsing. And not too long ago, we did a movie club event about Underworld with Kevin Grievous. So in week 13, you scored a back-to-back win with your Chang-Chi makeup challenge with Len freaking Wiseman as a special guest. So what did you enjoy most about doing this vampire build?
I think the fact that I got to incorporate some elements that were recognizable with some that weren't. Just the whole idea that a plant, is what was making the vampire come to life. The whole story behind that version of a vampire was very strange, and he had these vines that would scorpions shoot out of his hands and pull the people toward him, and then he would absorb their chi. And I did this cool Venus flytrap sculpt on the chest, just to change it up. And it was fun. I feel like everything really came together on that challenge. That was one of the first where I feel like everything worked for me. And I'm just happy the judges were pleased with that look.
I feel like that look is one of the most iconic face-off looks of all time. I swear, whenever I think of face-off, I think of this. And that's how I know, I'm so excited that you're on. You get to talk about it and talk through the details and creation, because it's just incredible what you pulled off.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm going to switch gears. I don't know if you get asked about this look that often, but I loved it. And you were just safe for this look. You weren't even one of the top looks, and I was very confused as to why. But the What a Doll, this creation is so detailed. I don't know how this wasn't one of the top looks.
I was confused myself. I actually, this was the first challenge where I felt I don't want to say different, but I knew that I had to bring across something different than what everybody else was doing. And this character was really cool to me in my mind. And then when I got to make it, I was like, it's even cooler in person. He was able to hide in the forest, and depending on which way you were looking, he would turn it or alter his body so that the side you were looking at, if it was shadow, he'd be the shadow side. So he would always be camouflaging until he was right.
Awesome.
Yeah, he was right in front of you. And then I think in order to escape his grasp, you had to sing him a song that he liked. It was a really cool, like, I was thinking like kids book. Like I went all out with him, and I had a blast.
Yeah, I think this was one of your best creations. And when I rewatched the episode, I was like, how was he not even in the top books? I was shocked.
The whimsical, man. Whimsical challenges. Excuse me. Whimsical challenges are weird because of their definition and I guess somebody's perception of what whimsical actually is. But I have fun either way.
Awesome. And we got to save one of the best for last. You know, the cream of the crop with your not one, two costumes you built in the finale. So in Heavily Embodies, this challenge, which is stacked on stacks on stacks, you had to create two costumes. They had to be dance ready so that they survive through all those heavy movements. They had to be lit up and with an awesome show by Rusco. And this was also a team battle, so you got to bring back all your friends and competitors. So there's a lot of twists and turns in this challenge, and the competition was really fierce. What elements of the build and execution you felt was instrumental towards your final win?
I think getting the challenge, it was very easy to be distracted, because whenever you get to make two characters, there's so many things that you can do with two characters. One thing that I didn't want to do was make these characters look similar in any way. I wanted, because they were supposed to be two aliens from two different races that were warring in this, using a constellation. So I was looking at this nature reference book that we had at the shop. That was one thing we did have. We did have books. And there was this beetle that was very striking, and it had like this metallic turquoise purple like reflection to the shell. And I was like, that's it. That's going to be our male, and then our female is going to be like completely opposite end of the spectrum with more warmer tones and colors. And that's kind of what we focused on. And again, it's very easy to say we want to do more with this, but knowing that they are going to be dancing, they are going to have lights. There's a lot of things that you can actually tone down. Sometimes less is more. So for both of those characters, we only sculpted a face and a cowl. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, there were like little chess pieces that went into the wardrobe. Because then we have faster application time and less worries about other things coming off when they're dancing. And I know, kind of looking at what everybody else was doing, it was it was very easy to say, oh no, did we do too little? Did I not do enough? So it was very important to just stay focused. And sometimes looking around the room can be dangerous, because some people have back pieces with lights that went all over. And I know Tyler's character had the light hair, almost like the light dreadlocks. So, but we stayed focused, and, we kept true to my vision. And, with that mess up that happened with molding, I had taken myself out of the winning circle. I was just like, there's no way with this much amount of flaws that we're going to win this. But with the hard work that my team put in, and the fact that the makeup stayed on after, just so you know, everybody knows, I don't know if they're ever going to divulge this information, but they did that dance 3 times. You guys only saw it. Yes.
Wow.
3 times.
Jeez.
And then they were judged.
Wow, they're putting all the costumes through the ringer, like stress tests. We got to make sure they're sturdy. And you know what you were saying before about the mishap with your cow, like making lemons in the lemonade. You guys were throwing that term a lot, and it just really worked because, especially with the story where these aliens are warring, and now you have this makeup job where it looks like a burn scar, and it works. It just works.
Oh yeah,
it's perfect.
Well, I know that depending on what your attitude is toward the makeup and what your final product is, definitely has a lot to say about what happens to you in the challenge. And I was down for that night when we popped the mold, and then for the next day for application day, I just, we just kind of embraced it and went with it. And we say, even though we did have these issues, even though we did have these flaws, in the real world, you can't just show up with nothing. You just work with what you have and you make it work on the day. So that was the attitude we went into it with.
You had, I feel like, just the best attitude in this. Like, everybody had it. That's what I liked about Face Off, is it wasn't like a lot of like drama. It was like drama around your creation. Like, people weren't getting into fights in the house, and I think that's what makes the show so great. But you just were always so positive. You're like, okay, I'm gonna go do this, and then I'm gonna do it, and then you did it.
I mean, it's weird to think, like, it all went by so quickly. I know 3 months is a long time, but we never really had much downtime. It was almost like, because the filming of the challenges takes place over 3 days, the first, second, third, and then there might have been like a rest day in between, but sometimes challenges were stacked back to back. So everything went so quickly. So I know a lot of time there is a certain level of stress when you're on the show, but sometimes there's no time for it. You literally have no time to worry, or you just have to get it done. And the camaraderie on the show is, we're all in the competition, but you don't want to see that person go home. The longer we were on the show, the better friends we all became. So even if I was struggling with my mold, I would look over and see somebody struggling, and it's like, nah, we got to get that open for them, and then I could come back here and pop this. So it was awesome.
That's great. You also made an appearance in season 7's finale. When did you find out that you were going to be like working with another finalist?
They contacted me. I don't know what the time frame was, but they contacted me and they just asked if I would be interested in coming back for season 7. I said, hell yeah. I'll come back for whatever season you want me to come back for. And then they brought us back. We went into basically back into the swing of things, and I got to see I was working with Sig, and I loved his work. I thought he was an awesome artist, and we went from there. I think just being back in it and getting to be a part of somebody else's finale was definitely like a blessing in itself.
So cool. All right, so I know we want to keep some time for some. We have a special segment called Rapid Fire, and I'm seeing a bunch of comments in this. So I think we might have some fan questions. So we're going to be doing the lightning round questions. So you only have a couple seconds to give us an answer, and we have 5 of them. So Amber and I are going to be switching off. So first lightning round question:
Go.
If you didn't win season 6, what else would you have rooted for? Or who else would you root for?
Man, between Tyler and George, I would take Tyler.
Tyler, I love Tyler's
you
stuff.
guys had such a bromance.
It was so cool. Great. All right, Amber.
If you could have done makeup and effects for any film ever, which would it be for?
Jurassic Park.
Yes. Good answer. Very good answer. Who is your favorite special effects / makeup artist?
Steve Wang.
Steve Wang.
What, and I guess you kind of answered this already, but what is your favorite movie monster?
That is a toss-up. It's going to be between Godzilla, 1954, black and white, the original. I would say, yeah, it's probably between him or A Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's like a tie between them. Those are like some of the original films that got me into the industry. So
Have you
Now, what if Universal Legendary like had them fight?
that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
That'd be really cool.
have you? I'm going off rapid fire here, but have you ever met Rico Browning, the creature from the Black Lagoon?
No, never got a chance.
Only surviving classic monster, and he still does shows. I met him a couple times. He's very, very nice.
That's awesome.
And fun fact, here's fun fact. I always share fun facts. He would hold his breath for 4 minutes to do all of the underwater takes, which is insane to me. In this costume, in a swamp where you can't see anything.
Oh yeah, they would have put the kibosh on that in today's Hollywood.
Yeah. Think of the insurance. It's not OSHA compliant.
They're like, nah, man, 30 seconds or less. We got to get them out of there.
Your final rapid fire is, what was your favorite sci-fi face-off creation?
My firefighter robot, I would have to say.
Yes. That was your first win.
Yes, it was.
The one we didn't know. Perfect.
That was just the one I felt home. I was like, you know what? We got 4 days to do this challenge, and I'm not gonna waste it. And I just created the biggest, bestest thing that I could, and hoping that the judges would enjoy my creation, and they did. So.
Yeah, that design was so intricate. It had a lot of character, like all the tiny scratch marks and like the eagle crest.
Oh yeah,
perfect. All right, so I think we're almost. Actually, Amber, I'm gonna be looking for some fan questions. I know you have something else for Rashaad.
What other projects are you working on? And what's in your pipeline? I know we Instagram stalked you. That's what I do to everybody. I apologize. And we saw that you made this really sick Groot. But what else? Like, are you making stuff? Are you doing commission work? What is it?
Yeah, I'm actually at the tail end of my commission work because I just almost about to finish Terror from Beyond. It's a black and white 1950s monster movie short film. With stop motion and puppets and creature suit and miniatures and all the good stuff that we love, that hopefully will be out in June. And I really enjoyed like the small independent film work. So once I'm finished with my commissions, I'm looking to, go back to Kickstarter and get another Kickstarter going for another project. Just got to figure out what that is. And I just want to keep making these short films because I've had a blast this entire time.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have a question from Kitty Grace. Which superhero would you design? I'm not sure if it's like an original superhero or maybe like a superhero build that you ever wanted, or both.
See, I'm a fan of like Beastly and like Hulk, and I would like to take a run at the Hulk, maybe if they gave me a chance. If Marvel is listening.
Amber, we have a connection with Marvel, right? We can make that happen.
We do. I don't know if you know, we also have a connection with Sci-Fi, which is kind of funny. Chris kind of mentioned it before, but obviously if you on Sci-Fi with Face Off, our show their show Van Helsing is based on our comic, Van Helsing.
Oh, we love that show.
Yep, based on our comic.
What?
Yeah, that's us, baby. Woo!
That's awesome. Oh man, that's cool. I'm gonna have to. You guys got like a comic or something that I could take a gander at?
We have so many comics. Rashaad, we will hook you up.
I'll send you an email and send me your address, and we'll send you some stuff.
Please. Oh, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. Rashaad, if you love monsters, you're gonna love our Van Helsing series. Just monsters off the wazoo. So good.
I love it. Love it.
Out the wazoo.
Yes.
Oh yeah. You gotta have. You know, I had an idea that I was pitching to like a couple of. I was gonna say hotels. That's not museums. And I was like, what about doing like a cryptid like section, like a special where you do like Bigfoot and Loch Ness, like all the different cryptids. Just it could be a couple of months. I've never seen anybody do that. They probably have it somewhere in the world, but the museums around me, I haven't seen it. And everybody was all excited about it, and then they were like, "Well, we don't have the financial backing for that." I was like, "That's gonna pay for it. It's gonna pay for itself."
Amber, hot take. Let's start our own museum and get Rashaad, and then we'll get all the cryptids.
Let's do it.
Say this, but look, our fans want you to do one of our characters from Zenoscope, and it could be one of the cryptids. So
I would love.
Oh
I actually made I mean, the Enuadi from Beast of the Water was based on the Machi Manitao, which is like the water panther from like Native American folklore and legend. So I would actually love whatever you guys have that I can design. Maybe we could do like a new comic book.
We would have to talk with the powers that be, but we have a direct line, so we'll put it in wow, Rashaad, this is so much fun. I wish we had more time to talk. But where can people find you on social media, the website, and any other cool new projects you want to plug? Like your recent Groot stuff on Instagram Live is so cool.
Thank you. If you guys want to find me, you can find me at Rashaad Santiago. That is RASHAAD SANTIAGO. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. And my website is RashaadSantiagoStudio.weebly.com. Yeah, if you guys want to just keep an eye out for Terror from Beyond Beyond, that is my newest thing that is coming out. And you can definitely take a gander at it.
Where is Terra? Where is it going to be? Like, are you guys going to release it? Is it going to go VOD? What's going to happen?
I think I've once everybody from the Kickstarter gets their copy and everybody has watched it who has backed it, I think I might get a distributor. I'm looking to get a distributor for it, and then go from there. So just all that stuff's going to be posted on my Instagram. There's a Terror from Beyond Beyond movie page on Instagram. You can please go follow that, or just follow me. I'll be posting all the updates and all the news directly from my page.
Awesome. And Rashaad, we like to ask this question for like every creator and artist, you know, a bit of like final bits of wisdom. Like if you could recommend anyone who wants to get into art or specifically like makeup and special effects, like what is like the best piece of advice you could give them?
Don't do it. No. Just swan dive into it. I know that's a question that I get asked a lot, and a lot of people are always asking like how and where to go. And I mean, YouTube is like a free college. Anything that you want to learn as far as sculpting, drawing, 3D sculpting, things like that, it's all on YouTube. Really build up that internal database and always be working towards your craft, whether it's you want to be a special effects artist, you want to be an animatronic specialist, just always be working at your craft. When you're at a restaurant, take a sketch, always carry around a little sketchbook. You never know when genius is going to strike, or you might get an idea. Always have a way to be, again, working at your craft.
Beautiful. Lovely. Well, that is all for Rashaad Santiago. Well, round of applause. Hell
Thank you.
Season 6 winner.
Anytime you guys want me back, I'm down to chat. Always.
Okay.
Awesome.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Rashaad. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Woo. Wow, Amber. That was really cool.
It was cool.